Stage party. You may be seated. Good afternoon, and welcome to the 2025 Pre-Commencement Ceremony for St. Louis University's Richard A. Chaifetz School of Business. Please join me in welcoming the class of 2025. Thank you, students. I now invite Father Michael May of the Society of Jesus to the podium for the invocation. Father, please rise.
Let us call ourselves into the presence of God. Heavenly Father, fill us with gratitude. Gratitude for the graduates, for all that they have done and achieved, for the faculty and staff who've mentored and taught them, for the family and friends who've supported them. Fill us with hope that they may have continued growth for the journey and for the impact that we hope they will make all around them. Fill us with courage and fortitude that we may face the obstacles that present themselves to us. And fill us with love that we may care for the community, live lives as if we see the face of God in every person we meet, and to be men and women for others. We ask this through Christ our Lord. Amen.
Please be seated. Thank you very much, Father May. Good afternoon, family, friends, faculty, staff, and distinguished guests and graduates. My name is Jackson Nickerson, and I'm the Edward Jones Dean of the Chaifetz School of Business at St. Louis University. With immense joy and pride, I welcome you to the 2025 Pre-Commencement ceremony of the Chaifetz School of Business. Today, we gather to celebrate not only academic achievement, but lives transformed and journeys beginning. At Chaifetz, we don't simply convey knowledge to students. We develop people of character. We ask our students to care deeply about their communities and those who are most vulnerable within them. We challenge the students to have the courage to lead, not just in business, but in the difficult, meaningful work of making the world better. We elevate their career aspirations through which they serve others with integrity, empathy, and impact. Our mission is clear: to help people imagine who they can be and launch them on their journey with vision and purpose. To the families and friends here today, know that your graduate leaves us with the knowledge and skills to thrive in their careers and to lead with heart in their conviction to serve others. That's what you helped them nurture, and that's what we've helped shape. To graduates, you'll always be core members of our community and the embodiment of our mission. You are dreamers, doers, and builders of more than just a compassionate world. As you take your next steps, may you always carry with you the courage to imagine the future and the aspiration to make it real. Congratulations, class of 2025. The next chapter of your journey is just beginning, and we can't wait to see where it'll lead. Thank you very much. And now I'm honored to introduce our student speaker, someone who has made a lasting mark on our campus through leadership, service, and a whole lot of hard work. Dow Train is graduating today with a double major in international business and marketing, because, of course, one major apparently wasn't quite challenging enough for her. Beyond academic excellence, she's been a driving force in campus life, serving for multiple years on the Dean's Student Advisory Board, leading within several international student organizations that celebrate the diverse voices of our community. She has also played a key role in contributing to the Chaifetz School Friday seminars, helping bring crucial conversations on topics like inclusive teaching and support for students with disabilities. In short, Dow has spent her time here doing exactly what we hope all our graduates will do: learning deeply, leading boldly, and lifting others along the way. Please join me in welcoming your 2025 Student Commencement speaker, Dow Train.
Hello, can you guys all hear me? Okay, first of all, good afternoon, faculty, family, friends, and most importantly, the class of 2025. Con xin chào bố mẹ, các cô chú, các bạn và toàn thể mọi người đang có mặt ngày hôm nay. My name is Dao Train, and it's truly an honor to stand before all of you today. Looking at all of us in caps and gowns, I feel a wave of emotions, excitement, pride, maybe a little bit of disbelief that this moment came so fast. Yet here we are, and somehow ready to take the next step into the real world. Before we do, please take a moment to appreciate the people who make this journey possible. Our professors, mentors, family, friends, and let's be honest, the AI tools that save us more times than we would like to admit. Can we get a quick round of applause for ChatGPT? Because without it, some of us might still be rewriting our finals papers. But truly, today isn't just about walking across this stage. It is about crossing a threshold. It is about asking ourselves, not just what we want to do, but who we want to be. And that brings me to the heart of what I want to share with you all today. Class of 2025, let us lead with purpose and live with courage. For me, the journey to this moment started long before SLU. I took my first leave as an international student when I moved to the US for high school. So by the time I got to college, I already knew that how are you wasn't always a question, and school spirit meant wearing your college hoodie year-round, even in 90-degree weather. I also had already accepted that the weather in St. Louis was going to be unpredictable, no matter how many weather apps I check. But starting college as an international student still came with its all set of challenges. I remember moving into Greece, looking around all unfamiliar faces, and realizing I was about to start over again. A new school, new place, new expectations, and a new version of myself to figure it out. But that's the thing about courage. It doesn't mean starting without fear. It means starting anyway. To be honest, figuring things out wasn't always easy. But college wasn't a ladder. It was more like a maze. And somewhere in those late-night brainstorming sessions, I found my way. I found my people, friends who understood what it meant to live between cultures, professors who didn't just teach, but challenged us to think beyond the classroom. Through clubs and organizations, I found spaces where student voices matter, where leadership wasn't about titles, but trust and collaborations, less about commanding a room and more about creating a space for others to grow. At Chaifetz, we didn't just learn how to start a business, we were taught to challenge ideas, not just accept them, to lead by listening, to solve with empathy and dignity, to understand that in business and life, purpose is a strategy and courage is a choice. And that right there is the mission of the School of Business, to develop leaders who are not only prepared for the marketplace, but who are driven by integrity, global perspective, and the desire to make meaningful change. SLU is where our differences became our strength, where study sessions in the library somehow turn into lifelong friendships, where shared experience like cramming for accounting exams or crafting a buffalo chicken wrap at the American remind us that we were in this together. We are graduating today not just as individuals, but as a community of global thinkers, difference makers, and future leaders who understand that success isn't measured solely in profits or promotions, it's measured in impact. Now, as we step forward into the next phase of our lives, whether that is starting a new job, continuing our educations, or figuring it out one day at a time, I want us to remember this. We have done this before. We have taken leaps into the unknown. We have adapted, struggled, grown. We have shown up for others and for ourselves. Shakespeare once asked, to be or not to be? I know Hamlet was not talking about post-graduation plans, but it makes sense, doesn't it? Because today, we're just not asking what we want to do, we are asking who we want to be. And the answer is up to us. We get to decide if we take risks, if we speak up, and if we build something that matters. Will you lead with purpose, and will you live with courage? Because that's what this moment calls for. Before I step down, I just want to say thank you. Thank you, SLU, for giving us more than an education, for giving us a home, a community, and memories that will last a lifetime. Thank you, St. Louis, for teaching us that the Arch is more than just a landmark. It's a symbol of possibility and of reaching higher. Today, we don't just celebrate what we have achieved, we are celebrating what we are becoming. So, to the class of 2025, may you lead with purpose, may you live with courage, and may you never forget, you are ready. Congratulations, class of 2025, we made it. Thank you.
Now I invite Dr. Rob Boyle, faculty member in the Department of Management and last year's recipient of the Beta Gamma Sigma Outstanding Teacher Award, to the podium to announce student awards and honors.
Thank you, Dean Nickerson, and thank you, Dow. It is truly my pleasure to call to your attention those students who have achieved special honors as a result of their academic excellence and commitment to service in the Jesuit tradition. I will first announce the names of individual award recipients. Would each graduate please stand as I say their name and remain standing until the entire group is announced. Then we can recognize all of these students with one round of applause at the end. Outstanding Senior in Accounting, Alexis Dunn. Outstanding Senior in Business Technology Management, Natalia Shuniakova. Outstanding Senior in Economics, Thomas Marin. Outstanding Senior in Entrepreneurship and Intern of the Year, Allie Thornton. Outstanding Senior in Finance, Carter Fortman. Outstanding Senior in International Business, Haiti Rios Hernandez. Outstanding Senior in Leadership and Human Resource Management and Outstanding Service Leadership Senior, Darcy Ella Taylor. Outstanding Senior in Marketing, Lily Kinnison. Outstanding Senior in Sports Business, Ben Frick Alofs. Recipient of the Frederick C. Yeager Service Award, Demira Aman Bekova. Larry Vonderhaar Service Leadership Award, Catherine Strassheim. The Delta Sigma Pi Scholarship Key, Kendall Dietrich. Lily Kinnison. Natalia Shuniakova. Catherine Strassheim. And Elizabeth Wangley. Outstanding Student in Master of Accounting, Carly McKeon. The Neil Seitz Leadership Award, Jorgen Andreas Giestvang. Outstanding Student in Professional Master of Business Administration, William Grant Sheave. Outstanding Student in Master of Science in Applied Financial Economics, Po Yu Chen. Outstanding Student in Master of Supply Chain Management, Delushika Sewandi Koswatagi. Outstanding Student in Executive Master of International Business, Frederick Watson Sweat. Congratulations, award recipients. I will now announce honor societies so that we can recognize those students who have been inducted. I ask all graduating members to stand when I announce your organization. Alpha Sigma Nu is the honor society of Jesuit colleges and universities, recognizing students who have distinguished themselves in scholarship, loyalty, and service in the Jesuit tradition. Would the Alpha Sigma Nu members please rise? A number of honor societies recognize academic excellence in the fields of business. Will members of Beta Gamma Sigma, Beta Alpha Psi, and Omicron Delta Epsilon all please rise to be recognized for your achievements? Congratulations to all of our student award recipients. We recognize you for your hard work and commitment to excellence. I now invite Ms. Debbie Pike, Associate Dean for Undergraduate Education, to the podium to present the graduates.
We will now begin the presentation of the 2025 Richard A. Chaifetz School of Business degree candidates.
I now invite Dr. Yen Sun, Chair of the Department of Accounting, to the podium to present the first group of graduates.
I'm pleased to recognize our graduates earning a Bachelor of Science degree in accounting.
Anthony Kova, Accounting and Marketing, cum laude. Riker Ray Kane, summa cum laude. Jonathan Christian Doan, Accounting with a Consulting and Advisory concentration, summa cum laude. Liam Patrick Doyle, magna cum laude. Kelly Fleming, summa cum laude. Nolan Stephen Gosh, Accounting and Economics. Mason David Green. Daniel Gutierrez Escalante. Emily D. Hennis, magna cum laude. Stephanie Elizabeth Ish, cum laude. Kirsten Elizabeth Kaminsky, cum laude. Ryan Takashi Maniachi. William Christopher Martin. Ian Thomas McKenzie. Stephanie E. Meyer, magna cum laude. Olivia A. McKenna, Public Accounting concentration, magna cum laude. Eleanor Kathleen Raymond, cum laude. Sarah Elizabeth Shea, Consulting and Advisory concentration, cum laude. William Smiley, Consulting and Advisory, concentration. Isabel Marie Tessier, Consulting and Advisory, concentration, cum laude. Logan E. Townsend, summa cum laude. Congratulations, graduates. I now invite Dr. Palash Bera, Chair of the Department of Operations and Information Technology Management, to the podium to present our next group of graduates.
I'm pleased to recognize our graduates earning a Bachelor of Science in Business Technology Management.
Larissa Stephanie Cano, Analytics and Enterprise Systems, concentration. Aryaman Dahia, Analytics and Enterprise Systems, concentration. Grace K. Engel, cum laude. Ayman Fakani, Analytics and Enterprise Systems, concentration. Justin Paul Fernandez. Kunjan Dot Gazula, Marketing and Business Technology Management with an Analytics and Enterprise Systems concentration, cum laude. Edwina Marie Hebert, Business Technology Management with an Analytics and Enterprise Systems concentration and Marketing, summa cum laude. Seth Haki Hunter. William Dane Laub, Analytics and Enterprise Systems concentration. Harper Renee Letts. Ronik Magesh, Analytics and Enterprise Systems concentration. Olivia Grace McCracken. Ryan Wilcox McMahon, Analytics and Enterprise Systems concentration. Lucas Nordstrom, Analytics and Enterprise Systems concentration, magna cum laude. Hannah Ray O, Analytics and Enterprise Systems concentration, magna cum laude. Devam Patel. Andrea Sarah Pinto, cum laude. Jaden Brian Prom. Alex Tinkham Prouty, Marketing and Business Technology Management, cum laude. Bahar Safarzadeh, Marketing and Business Technology Management with an Analytics and Enterprise Systems concentration, cum laude. Brendan Pierce Chef. Maria Fraser Schmidt, Analytics and Enterprise Systems concentration, summa cum laude. Natalia Shunyakova, Analytics and Enterprise Systems concentration and finance, summa cum laude. Sai Santosh Tokakar, Analytics and Enterprise Systems concentration. Jonah Edward Tolbert, Analytics and Enterprise Systems concentration. Congratulations, graduates. I now invite Dr. Hailong Chen, Chair of the Department of Economics, to the podium to present the next group of graduates.
I'm pleased to recognize our graduates earning a Bachelor of Science degree in Economics.
Benjamin Wade Beauchamp. Liam K. Crana. Kieran Patrick Farnan, Economics and Finance, magna cum laude. Sebastiano Fauda, magna cum laude. Mateo Flores, cum laude. Andrew James Harmon, cum laude. Everyone, I'm sure your phones are going off too. We've been working with events all day about this possibility. I want you all to know that this is the safest place. We are not near any glass. We are down low in the ground. I won't dare the weather to disrupt our ceremony, but we're going to just keep on going. Trinity Ann Marie Joyce. Yago Lopez Fondo, International Business and Economics. Vassal William Marco. Thomas Owen Marin, Economics and Philosophy, University Honors Program, summa cum laude. For the parents here, you're getting your SLU emergency call. We're used to these by now, aren't we? William Edward Knock. Mary B. Pham. Haiti Meyerly Rios Hernandez, Economics and International Business, magna cum laude. Natalie K. Robinson, Economics and Business Technology Management, magna cum laude. Alyssa Nicole Villarreal, Economics and Finance, magna cum laude. Jaden Quadio, Economics and Finance, magna cum laude. Anthony Robert Zaszewski. Congratulations, graduates. I now invite Dr. Jintong Tang, Chair of the Department of Management, to the podium to present the next 3 groups of graduates.
Congratulations to our graduates earning a Bachelor of Science in Entrepreneurship, Leadership and Human Resource Management, and Sports Business.
The following students earned a major in entrepreneurship. Noah A. Adair, magna cum laude. Krista Ann Marie Carter, cum laude. Haley Alana Cryer, cum laude. Hao Huang. Gabriel Ignacio Patino Burgos. Garrett Michael Pulcher. Sophia Isabel Robles. Alexia Grace Thornton, magna cum laude. Samuel Michael Zaczynski, cum laude. Congratulations to our entrepreneurship graduates. The following students earned a major in Leadership and Human Resource Management. Honora Jane Banis, cum laude. Riley Brinker, cum laude. Seamus McLaughlin Cannon. Alexandra Grace Denny. Andy Tan Wen, magna cum laude. Kiera Elena Perez. Christian A. Rempel, cum laude. Ellery Ann Seifert. Catherine Strassheim, Leadership and HR Management, summa cum laude. Darcy Ella Taylor, magna cum laude. Congratulations to our Leadership and Human Resource Management graduates. The following students earned a major in sports business. Jacob Francis Banya. Justin Robert Berryhill. Kennedy Arne Calhoun. Noah S. Epstein, cum laude. Ethan John Francis. Ben Frick A. Alos, summa cum laude. Michael Renee Henry, cum laude. Joseph Kaiser, summa cum laude. Thalia Landero. Jack Edward Lindner. Andrew D. Mador. Nathan Lewis Shapiro. Daniel David Scheck, magna cum laude. Isabel Moon Tillett. Congratulations, graduates. I now invite Dr. Naresh Bansal, Chair of the Department of Finance, to the podium to present the next group of graduates.
I'm pleased to recognize our graduates earning a Bachelor of Science in Finance.
Thomas Knox Ackerman, Finance and Marketing. Isaac Olakunle Akanini, Finance with a Financial Analysis concentration and Accounting with a Public Accounting concentration, magna cum laude. Damira Leila Amambakova, International Business and Finance with a Financial Analysis concentration, magna cum laude. Alexander Antonov, Accounting and Finance. Nicholas Basili, Finance with a Real Estate Finance concentration, magna cum laude. Bryce Beck, magna cum laude. Graham Bishop, cum laude. Kayla Mary Brady, Finance with a Financial Analysis concentration and Economics, magna cum laude. James B. Bruntz V, Finance and Entrepreneurship. William Walsh Beekler, Accounting and Finance, cum laude. Kimberly Gale Kabodahe, magna cum laude. Travis Kane, Real Estate Finance concentration. Michael Francis Callahan, summa cum laude. Blake Ryan Degner. Alexander Thomas Egelhoff, magna cum laude. Adam Foley, Economics and Finance, magna cum laude. Carter James Fortman, Finance and History Honors Program, summa cum laude. Zachary Frederick, magna cum laude. Alec James Gottschalk. Alexander William Gladson. Salvatore Peter Goli. Michael Alexander Hiblovich, Finance and Accounting with a Public Accounting concentration, magna cum laude. Ethan D. Hoke, Real Estate Finance concentration and Entrepreneurship, summa cum laude. Kevin Jang, magna cum laude. Griffin A. Johnson, cum laude. Daniel Patrick Juergens, Finance and Economics and Sports Business, summa cum laude. Chris Calmer. Patrick Korzakowski, Finance and Business Technology Management with an Analytics and Enterprise Systems concentration, cum laude. Mark Cozier, magna cum laude. Mason Gray Kasowski. Evan C. Larson. Daniel M. Lorenzo, Finance and Economics. Ryan Matthew Meyer, Accounting and Finance. Samuel Kelly Meisenberg. Lotana C. Abozer, magna cum laude. Dylan Jacob Ortiz. John W. Peel, magna cum laude. Noah Scott Peterson, Finance with a Financial Analysis concentration and Accounting with a Consulting and Advisory concentration, magna cum laude. Destiny Marie Powell. Fangli Ruan. Sommer Vincent Sater, cum laude. Zachary P. Sherman, Finance and Accounting with a Consulting and Advisory concentration, summa cum laude. Jasmine Sun, summa cum laude. Carla Maria Tejas. Ben G. Truong, Entrepreneurship and Finance. Margaret Teresa Vespa. Joseph Michael Vituli. Elizabeth Wangley, summa cum laude. Grace Susan Watsky, Accounting and Finance, cum laude. Jeffrey D. Wells, cum laude. Logan T. Whitcomb, Finance and Accounting with a Consulting and Advisory concentration. Roxalana Yesenbayeva. Congratulations, graduates. I now invite Dr. Hadi Al-Hor, Chair of the Department of International Business, to present the next group of graduates.
I'm pleased to recognize our graduates earning a Bachelor of Science in International Business.
Alfred Joel Buck, Business Technology Management with an Analytics and Enterprise Systems concentration, and International Business. Yu Him Brian Butt, Finance and International Business, cum laude. Amisha Condor, International Business and Marketing, cum laude. Robert Emmerich. Gracia Alexandra Escalante Chora. Alexa Renee Hauser, International Business and Marketing. Isel J. Martinez, International Business and Marketing. Laura Ellen Menendez, International Business and Marketing. Angela Beatrice Menjivar. Arthur Felipe Simoyas, cum laude. Brandon Phuc Hong Trong, International Business and Leadership in HR Management. Athena Valera Barrios. Congratulations, graduates. I now invite Dr. Mark Arnold, Chair of the Department of Marketing, to the podium to present the next group of graduates.
I am pleased to recognize our graduates earning a Bachelor of Science degree in Marketing.
Isabel Grace Bergman. Eliana Jane Brooke, summa cum laude. Emily M. Budzinski, Marketing and Finance, magna cum laude. Tyler Raymond Bogansky. Jackson Storm Campbell, cum laude. Lydia Jane Cohen, magna cum laude. Esha Dharma Varapu, cum laude. Carmen Marie Dillman, summa cum laude. Chane Diop. Kendall May Diedrich, summa cum laude. Megan Taylor Erspalmer, magna cum laude. Claire Ann Frankie. Amy Gonzalez. Irvin Alexis Garza. Philip Alexander Hiblovich, Accounting and Marketing. Ellie Christine Hillenbrand, cum laude. Scarlett Catherine Hovermail. Emma Hukalich, magna cum laude. Rutika Jalala. Wyatt Michael Johnson. Elvis Yusopovich. Hope Elizabeth Kapelski, University Honors Program, magna cum laude. Thomas J. King, cum laude. Lily Ann Kinnison, summa cum laude. William Matthew Klingeman. Patricia A. Lakowitz. Tony Deshay Lanter Mason, cum laude. Josephine Rose Loppy. Addison Elizabeth Lyon. Gavin Zachary Martin. Grace Della Merkel, magna cum laude. Christine Myvie No. Claudia Gabriela Olivos Lara. Natalie Elise Perillo, Marketing and Anthropology. Anna Claire Phillips. Caesar Andrzej Plashevsky. Sean Charles Pukoski. Thomas Michael Pollard. Neera Saha. Grace Elizabeth Seebeck. Mary Charlotte Shane, cum laude. Kate Elizabeth Steve. Malik Stewart. Nora Catherine Sullivan. Grace Lynn Vahi. Ellie Grace Weddle, cum laude. Peyton Francis Willis. Matthew Roble. Dao Wen Dong Train, International Business and Marketing, magna cum laude. Lucy Shi Shin Mariam Zahari, Marketing and Entrepreneurship, cum laude. Congratulations, graduates. This concludes the presentation of our bachelor degree candidates. We will now begin the presentation of our master degree candidates. I now invite Dr. Yen Sun back to the podium to present our next group of graduates.
Congratulations to our graduates earning a Master of Accounting. Included in this group are students in our integrated accounting program, which is an accelerated degree path, earning a combination of both a Bachelor of Science in Accounting and a Master of Accounting.
Emily Borowski, Master of Accounting, Bachelor's of Accounting, summa cum laude. Evan Clifford Brenderman, Master of Accounting, Bachelor of Science Accounting, magna cum laude. Jack Lowell Burke. Jake Carter, Master of Accounting, Bachelor of Science Accounting. Alexander Sebastian Daw, Master of Accounting, Bachelor of Science Accounting. Alexis Mackenzie Dunn, Master of Accounting, Bachelor of Science Accounting, summa cum laude. Samuel Joseph Ellison, Master of Accounting, Bachelor of Science Accounting, summa cum laude. Grant Robert Girl, Master of Accounting, Bachelor of Science Accounting, summa cum laude. Riley Ray Hobrock, Master of Accounting, Bachelor of Science Accounting, summa cum laude. Kayla Hubbard, Master of Accounting, Bachelor of Science Accounting, summa cum laude. Nicholas Stephen Jones, Master of Accounting, Bachelor of Science Accounting, magna cum laude. Franklin Liu, Master of Accounting, Bachelor of Science Accounting, summa cum laude. Carly Eliza McKeon. Gabrielle Mary Schremp, Master of Accounting, Bachelor of Science Accounting. Hugh Brogan Townsend, Master of Accounting, Bachelor of Science Accounting, magna cum laude. Elizabeth Ann Young, Master of Accounting, Bachelor of Science Accounting. Emily Christine Young, Master of Accounting, Bachelor of Science Accounting, cum laude. Congratulations, graduates. I now invite Dr. Christopher Thomas to the podium to present the next group of graduates.
Congratulations to our graduates earning a Master of Business Administration.
Jordan Ann Beveridge. Monal Bardwaj. Sai Hitesh Bhavanasi. Zachary Peter Kiyabyab. Enrique Cervantes, Jr. Matthew Michael Cook. Sugata Dar. Matthew Andrew Dignan. James Alphonse Duda. Rebecca K. Duttlinger. Courtney Christopher Everett. Isabella Catherine Ferris. Benjamin Fredman. Erin Marie Gallagher. Jorgen Andreas Yesvang. Arden N. Guthrie. Carly Nicole Hilgers. Elena Grace Hipp. Corbin Harrison. Alexander Thomas Jones. Benjamin David Kennebeck. Robbie Kevlishvili. Matthew Connolly Kowalski. Daniel Ryan Klaus. Nicholas Anthony Licata. Gregory Jenkins Matthews. Lindsay Faith Moore. Michael R. Murphy. Emily Catherine Percelli. Elena Sophia Pizzella. Catherine M. Rossmiller. Niday Singhal. Jetin Kumar Mudiraj Tota. Alex Freddie Terrell. D. Scott Chadden. Eduardo Torres Arpi Poas. David Vincent Young. Congratulations, graduates. I now invite Dr. Hadi Alhor back to the podium to present the next group of graduates.
Congratulations to our graduates earning an Executive Master of International Business.
Thomas Joseph Dapron, Jr. Katya Goodman. Shambwahi Cha. Keith Johnson. Veena S. Kunigal. Ryan Thomas Mattern. Stephanie Ann Scroggins. Frederick Watson Sweat. Daryl Leon Williams. Aubrey Elizabeth Zobrist. Congratulations, graduates. I now invite Dr. Hailong Chen back to the podium to present the next group of graduates.
Congratulations to the following graduate earning a Master of Science degree in Applied Financial Economics.
Joseph Kwabla Agor. Yao Ajay Apa. Po Yu Chen. Dennis Deladem Quadzode. Tung Ying Lin. Congratulations, graduates. I ask Dr. Palash Bera to please return to the podium to present the next group of graduates.
I'm pleased to recognize our graduates earning Masters of Supply Chain Management.
Munira Akhmedova. Abiodun Emmanuel Akingbaso. Ramanathan Ashwin. Venkata Pranath Kumar Bandi. Xin Yin Chow. Chen Yu Fu. Shailesh Gopinath. Sahil Garg. Shubhangi Datatre Hankare. Komalahon Irmatova. Mohammed Karbo Papane. Dulashika Sewandi Koswataki. Rudrish Kotanda Naidu. Pinwa Lee. Uyun Ting Lee. Abigail Grace Lynn. Mohammed Majid Mohiuddin. Fatima Islam Meen. Varun Reddy Mora. Ane Bahale. Anthony David Orzakowski. Siri Kiran Papu. Satishraj Puli. Shraddha Sandeep Padalkar. Neha Venkatesh Palankar. Raj Jashi Abhijit Patil. Sakshi Apurva Soni. Guntapat Sangziti Yotin. Varun Sai Sudanad Gunta. Prince Ni Okulete Teta. Bhargav Tumagunti. J. Sivaram Talabati. Sumant Kumar Venamaineni. Muhammad Wakas. Congratulations, graduates. This concludes the presentation of our master degree candidates. We will now begin the presentation of our PhD candidates. Dr. Chris Thomas, please come to the podium.
I invite Dr. Ben Mamoon, Associate Professor of International Business, to the podium to present our first PhD candidate.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Thomas. It is my great honor to present our first candidate, Alex Brinkmeyer.
The title of Ms. Brinkmeyer's dissertation is The Heterogeneous Behaviors of Family Firms, a Mixed Methods Approach to Explain How Family Involvement and Institutional Pressures Influence Family Firm Technology Adoption. Congratulations, Ms. Brinkmeyer. I now invite Dr. Mark Arnold, Chair of the Marketing Department, to the podium to present our next PhD candidate.
Thank you, Dr. Thomas. I am honored to present our next candidate, Yoon Jae Choi.
The title of Ms. Choi's dissertation is No Quest, No Grails, Exploring Grail Product Search Journey in Online Consumption Communities. Congratulations, Ms. Choi. I now invite Dr. Brad Carlson, Professor of Marketing, to the podium to present our last PhD candidate.
Thank you, Dr. Thomas. I'm very pleased to present our final candidate, Van Wong.
The title of Ms. Wong's dissertation is Navigating Vulnerability, a 3-essay exploration of content creators' self-disclosure and audience response. Congratulations, Ms. Wong. Now that all degree candidates in the Richard A. Chaifetz School of Business at St. Louis University have been presented to you, I invite Dean Nickerson back to the podium. Don't sit down.
It is my honor to introduce today's commencement speaker, one of our distinguished accounting alumni, Mr. Martin J. Lyons, Jr. Marty is the chairman and president and CEO of Ameren Corporation, where he helps keep the lights on, literally, for millions of people across Illinois and Missouri. He's known for leading with integrity, pushing for innovation, and prioritizing safety and inclusion. Before taking the helm at Ameren, Marty held several key leadership roles within the company, including chairman and president of Ameren Missouri, and executive vice president and CFO. Prior to that, he rose to the ranks to partnership at PricewaterhouseCoopers, an impressive start to a career marked by integrity and impact. He holds a bachelor degree in business administration from St. Louis University. His academic roots, just like yours, began here. And like so many other Billikens who serve others, Marty is committed as a civic leader. He serves on national boards within the utility sector and contributes deeply to local organizations and causes, ranging from cancer research and education to economic development in the St. Louis region. Please join me in warmly welcoming our 2025 pre-commencement speaker, Mr. Martin J. Lyons, Jr.
Well, thank you, Dean Nickerson, for that very warm introduction. Much appreciated. My fellow Billikens, I am really thrilled to be here with you today. It's always a delight to be back on the campus of St. Louis University. I hope after graduation you all, like me, look forward to coming back and visiting frequently. But today is absolutely a tremendous occasion to be here, a celebration of each of your achievements, your graduations. I can tell you that I do know firsthand how hard each one of you has worked to get here, and I'm confident that you'll find that the effort that you put in, that the knowledge that you've gained is going to benefit you, it's going to benefit every organization that you work for in the future, it's going to benefit every organization which you lead in the future. Now, I need to be brief today. When Dean Nickerson invited me to be here, you'll all be relieved to know he gave me a tight budget of 8 minutes. So that's what I've got, and I thought to myself, well, what can I convey that will be helpful to these graduates in 8 minutes? And I narrowed it down to 2 things, and frankly, these are 2 things that do matter to me a lot. The first piece of advice I guess I'd give each of you is go get big stuff done. GSD, get stuff done. That's piece of advice number 1. The second piece of advice I have for all of you is don't be a jerk. Not to be underestimated. You know, having been an accounting major here at SLU, I tend to think of things like a balance sheet, assets and liabilities. And on that left side of the ledger, in the asset column, you now at least have one very big thing, which is a SLU degree. Some of you have multiple degrees, I heard, which is fantastic. But it's a big deal. It's a huge accomplishment. Each of you knows that. To me, it proves that each one of you can get big stuff done, and don't underestimate your power to do so. So what's next? You know, where are each of you headed? What are you going to do? What's your career going to be? Importantly, what is it that you plan to accomplish? I would recommend, again, that you think very big. Think long term. Use your time wisely. Use your time very strategically. You'll hear people say, hey, you have your whole career ahead of you. You have your whole life ahead of you, and you do. But I can tell you, I celebrated my 59th birthday this past Wednesday. Time flies by. Don't waste it. Just as you chose each one of your classes here at SLU as a building block of knowledge, a building block that advanced you towards your degree, I would encourage you to think about each one of the jobs you have in the future as a learning experience. Work hard, learn as much as you can, understand the purpose and the why behind each task that you take on, do them to the best of your ability, master them, and build upon them. Commit yourself to a lifetime of continuous learning, a lifetime of continuous self-improvement. I'll tell you that as you advance through life, I'm confident that each one of you, given your own unique skills, your unique personalities and career paths, is going to sharpen your personal focus on what's most meaningful to you. And I'd ask you to consider what's most important, what's most fulfilling to you. Again, think big, challenge yourself to get it done, whatever that is, whatever goal you set for yourself, accomplish it, get it finished. I would tell you that effort is great, but I think you'll be most fulfilled in life when you can look back on times when you got big stuff done. So remember, my recommendation number 1 is GSD, get stuff done. Fill that asset side of your personal balance sheet with great accomplishments, and again, as Billiken graduates, I'm confident that you can. Now for recommendation number 2, don't be a jerk. For each of you, frankly, this should come really easy. Why? Because each of you are Billikens. To this day, I'm very thankful for the education that I received here at SLU and for all the friends that I made on this campus. But I'm particularly grateful for the values that were instilled in me. Values that start with the pillar of Jesuit education, a call to be men and women for others. As men and women for others, we've learned to act ethically, which is good because I can tell you, you won't go far without a good moral compass. If you act unethically or immorally, you'll quickly fill that liability side of your personal balance sheet and you will fail. But you, as Billikens, are prepared to go far beyond just avoiding bad behavior. You know, I'm sure over the course of your time here at SLU, you had the opportunity to work on many group projects. And I'd ask you to think about the ones that you found to be most fulfilling, the most rewarding, and ask yourselves why. You know, my sense is probably more important than the grade, more important than the subject matter that you were working on, or how intelligent your teammates may have been. I bet the most enjoyable experiences had something to do with how the members of that team treated one another, how they worked together to accomplish a common goal. I think treating one another with respect, whether it's your classmates or your future customers, your future clients, your future coworkers, your leaders, yes, they deserve some respect as well, and importantly, the people that you come to lead, treat them with respect. I think this is really a must. Approach everything you do with integrity. Be conscious of the impact that your words and your actions have on others. I think this is the real foundation of collaboration. It's the foundation of teamwork. And those two things, collaboration and teamwork, that's indeed how big things get done. And being a man or woman for others, working for the common good, and recognizing the value and interconnectedness of all people, I think is your secret sauce as Billikens. And I think you know what I'm talking about. The fact is that the top technical wizard or the most brilliant strategist is going to go nowhere without also demonstrating respect and being a team player. Hitting deadlines, making sales goals, making profit goals, all of those things are going to be short-lived if relationships are damaged along the way, if trust is broken along the way. So as you're starting out your career, I'd encourage you to get to know people, listen to them, appreciate them, and remember that yes, your IQ matters, but just as importantly, your EQ matters, your emotional intelligence. Look, I'm not here to tell you I'm perfect at any of this, and I don't think any of you are perfect either. And along the way, along life's journey, we each make mistakes. And I can tell you that unfortunately, the line to achieving our goals and accomplishments is never a straight one. But always be grateful. You and I are Billikens. We belong to a supportive community of men and women for others, a community of people that I believe are committed to learning from our mistakes, overcoming obstacles, continuously improving, getting stuff done, treating people with respect, and making the world a better place for the greater glory of God. So please remember two things for me today. Get stuff done, make it big, don't be a jerk, be respectful, be collaborative, be a team player. I want to thank you, all of the faculty that are here with me today, the parents, the family, and friends that are in the audience cheering on your graduates. I think it's awesome. I could feel the love in the room. Most importantly, thank you to the Chaifetz School of Business, class of 2025, for giving me a few moments to speak with you today. Good luck to each of you. God bless each of you, and congratulations.
As the new dean of the business school, I can tell you those are the two rules I've been following all year long. Thank you so much, Marty. Character, caring about your community, courage, and career aspirations. Perhaps you've heard me say these things around campus. These are the 4 C's of Chaifetz School of Business. And you are their embodiment. Never stop imagining who you can be and what the world can be. You are the captains of your journey, and may it be wondrous. Remember that once a Billiken, always a Billiken. Congratulations, good luck, stay in touch, and may the Ignatian spirit of St. Louis University be forever in your hearts. I now invite the Associate Dean, Debbie Pike, to the podium for one last time to convey some important instructions to close our ceremony. Debbie.
Graduates, after the stage party has left the arena, please follow the marshals and proceed down the center aisle, exiting to the rear. We have a graduation gift for each of you, so please be sure to stop at the tables near the loading dock doors, where you will exit the arena. As there is another ceremony following this one, please meet up with your family and friends somewhere outside of the arena bowl. Thank you so much, and we look forward to tomorrow's university commencement ceremony.